So the deployment arrow can deploy metadata, but it can also roll back a deployment. Now, rollback is similar to deploy metadata, except that the source is one of the time series backups from the destination snapshot. So, for example, this destination snapshot, which we can see over here, has a whole bunch of time series backups, and they're shown here in the middle. So, for example, we can look at the deployment history and see that this backup, which is only a couple of hours old, is only one snapshot away from the last deployment. If we look back 2 hours, you can see some additional deployments on top of this snapshot. If you look back a day, you can see a number of deployments on top. And if you look back a week, you can see, where this snapshot occurred and then all the other deployments that happened after it. So the first thing you need to do is you need to pick the snapshot that you're trying to go back to. And that's pretty easy to do. For example, you can also look at the different job lists that were put forward here and figure out kind of in history and based on the time, where is it that you want to go back to. So by default, you want to go back to just the last snapshot. So then you have two tools up here that are very helpful. One is to calculate differences button. And what this will do, will look at the differences between the two snapshots and automatically generate a create and a delete job list to go back to those differences. So for example, we can see that this deployment created some things and deleted some things. We can click create differences, and you'll see that it calculates all the differences from the create and all the differences from the delete that are there between those two snapshots. That isn't always what you want. For example, this is quite a few changes. In fact, all the profile changes and everything for those objects that were created and deleted. So another way to do it is actually to swap the create and the delete job list. And what this will do is whatever you created, it will now delete, and whatever you deleted, it will now create. And so for a simple snapshot like this that just created and deleted some objects, this is a better option. So you can click that, and now you'll see that you're deleting the objects that you created, and you're creating the object that you deleted. And so then you can click deploy metadata, and it'll put everything back the way it should be. So there's not really a magic bullet to take you back to any previous metadata snapshot. There's many reasons why that's not possible, but these tools will help you get a good create and delete job list, and of course you can go in and edit those job lists by hand if to handle any other circumstances or things that you want to do. For example, it could be a partial deployment. Okay, there's the rollback deployment.